Srikanth, can you hear me? Voice is not audible. Please check. Hello?
Oh, sorry. Looks like when I muted, even I got muted.
Okay, please check. Please check.
Can you hear me? Voice is not audible. Please check.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome, everyone, on the occasion of International Yoga Day. And we are gathered here for the Yoga Summit 2020, brought to you by the World United in association with US Yoga Institute. So to start off today's session, let's try to understand some background behind the formation of International Yoga Day and some of the key players. So I would invite Dr. Yugandhar to join us to give some story behind how our Prime Minister Narendra Modi has played a role and the relationship with the International Yoga Day, making it global. Dr. Yugandhar?
Yeah. Yes, please. Yeah. So welcome to this Yoga Summit 2020, presented by the World United in association with the New Age Yoga Institute, Mumbai, Vile Parle. My dear friends Nitin ji and Sandhya ji, the couple is doing very, very well in promoting yoga. So greetings to all the viewers on behalf of the World United and New Age Yoga Institute. So let me take only a couple of minutes to introduce the story behind the formation of International Yoga Day. It all started in the year 2001 when a single man from Portugal, Lisbon, the capital of Portugal, Lisbon, Amrut Suryananda, he was given a title called Jagadguru Amrut Suryananda, the picture of which you can see on the right hand side. This man came to India earlier, learned yoga from different yoga teachers, especially from northern India. He formed a small group in Lisbon and felt like having International Yoga Day to be announced by the UN. And a single man with a small group of followers and friends, how can he influence United Nations to declare 21st June as International Yoga Day? It was very difficult, but yet he gathered momentum slowly, bit by bit, by meeting several people. So in 2001, he started that movement, and he went from every yoga teacher he met and started collecting the petitions. Even I was writing this petition in 2012. I signed up this petition. The time when we organized the first World Parliament in Hyderabad. At that time I met him. He came with a delegation of around 20 people from Portugal. They had a very great performance and great deliberations on yoga. So in 2013, they had a meeting with prominent yoga teachers of India like Sri Ravi Shankar, Baba Ramdev, and so many other people. And again, second meeting held in early part of 2014. And with the help of all the yoga teachers, they met under the leadership of Sri Ravi Shankar, met the Prime Minister, the then Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji. So he was a requested to influence United Nations to have a day for yoga on 21st June. And that was the first time when Narendra Modi ji came to power. And everything started slowly. And Narendra Modi ji has taken this plea very seriously. And during his first UNGA, United Nations General Assembly meeting, he influenced the United Nations, and how he influenced will come to that little later. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yes, Srikanth. We can start the session, I think.
Okay. Now, today, we are going to cover Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, the 8 limbs. And we have esteemed guests here that will talk about each one of the Ashtangas. So to start off the first talk, I would like to invite Nitin Patkiji, IIT alumnus, and also the CEO of New Age Yoga Institute, to speak on Yama of Ashtanga. Nitinji.
Thank you, Srikanji, and welcome to the World Yoga Day, the International Day of Yoga. Wish you all a lot of wishes for the International Day of Yoga, 21st June. And thank you, Dr. Yogandarji, for giving me this platform, giving New Age Yoga, Sanjay ji, and all our teachers this platform to share our knowledge, whatever little we are having about the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, especially the Ashtanga Yoga. So we will start with a prayer for Maharshi Patanjali. So let us join our hands. Yogena chittasya parena vacham balam sharirasya cha vaidyakena yopakarotam pravaram munilam patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi. Thank you very much. So this is a wonderful initiative by the World United, Dr. Yogandarji. To start the Ashtanga Yoga, I need to give you some background of Maharshi Patanjali, who wrote these aphorisms about 2,200 years ago, and even today in 2020, we are following this. We are talking about it, not only talking, we are deeply studying these this scripture all over the world, not only in India, but all over in every nationality. There are people, every nationality, there are people who are studying this very seriously. This is supposed to be the complete study of human psychology, where a writer has written where the Western psychology ends, the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, the Manas Shastra starts over there. It's an exhaustive study of the human mind. So Patanjali has given the aim of yoga as Chitta Vritti Niyodha, and the tool for that is Samadhi, which is meditation. So Samadhi can be achieved by just Abhyas and Vairagya, by the sadhaka who's of the highest order, or it can be done by Kriya Yoga, Tapa, Swadhyaya, Ishwar Pranidhan, by the sadhakas who are of medium order, but for Grihastha people like you and me, he has advised, suggested the path of Ashtanga Yoga. Okay, so Ashtanga Yoga is 8 pillars of yoga. The techniques which have been mentioned over there are divided into 8 parts. What is the benefit of this Ashtanga Yoga? For that, I need to recite the sutra behind this thing. Yoganga Anushthan Ashuddhi Kshayat Jnana Diptira Viveka Khyatihi. So there are 3 benefits of following and practicing the Ashtanga Yoga. First is Ashuddhi Kshaya. The impurities have to vanish. Secondly, the Jnana Dipti. So the covering over the light, our self light, the light from within, it has to vanish, and the Jnana Dipti has to awaken. The light from within has to awaken. And by that awakened light, we need to achieve the Viveka Khyati, which is the discrimination power. So these are the 3 benefits, the labh of Ashtanga Yoga. So what does the Ashtanga Yoga entail? What are the 8 angas? Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. Now the first 5 limbs, Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, are the Bahiranga Yoga, which have to be done, which have to be performed. There is some effort involved in that. And the next 3, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi, is the Antaranga Yoga. Antaranga Yoga is the result, it is the phala of what efforts you have taken in the first 5 angas. Now it is not that you have to do you have to perform or follow the first pillar, then the second, then the third. It is not that. Everything goes on simultaneously. The yoga stands on the pillar of all these 8 limbs. So it should not be understood that this is one by one we have to practice. While you are practicing Yama, you have to practice Niyama, Asana, Pranayama. Dharana will happen. While you are practicing Pranayama, other things also have to be practiced. So firstly, we will talk about the Yamas. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Sandhya, for giving me space. So while talking about Yamas, there are 5 Yamas: Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, and Aparigraha. Now, these 5 are called as Mahavratas. Each of these 5 Yamas are capable of taking you up to the Samadhi state. Each of these 5. For that matter, each of the Anga can take you to the Samadhi state individually. That is the power of each of these techniques and the vows. So firstly, we will talk about the Ahimsa. Patanjali has given utmost importance to the following of Ahimsa or non-violence. We know the importance of non-violence through so many sadhus. Santa Mahatma Gandhi used to advise this so strongly. But do we know what is the benefit of Ahimsa? So what Patanjali says is Ahimsa pratisthayam tat sannidhau vairatyaga. So if you are established in Ahimsa, vairatyaga, that means all the hostilities will be given up. All the hostilities will be removed and you will experience a smooth path in whatever you are doing, especially the following of the yoga path. And if you don't follow this, if you have hinsa in your mind, then there will be obstructions in form of a reaction to the hinsa which you have done to whoever or whatever. So what kind of hinsa can happen? The hinsa can be, it could be mrudu, it could be adi, mrudu, madhya. It could be arising out of lobha, greed, krodha, anger, moha, delusion, and it could be of Kruta, karita, anumodita. That means it can be done by you yourself. It can be done by other person. You can motivate the other person to do it. And third is you can do the anumodan. Anumodan is you are justifying that violence. So in these three ways, this hinsa can be done. Now, Patanjali has given antidote of that also, which we are not going to talk in detail just now, which is Pratipaksha Bhavana. So these 27 ways, 3 into 3 into 3. So Krutukarita, Anumodita, Lobha, Kroha, Moha, Purvaka, Mrdu, Madhyadi, Matra. So these 3 into 3 into 3, 27 ways in which you are doing hinsa can be reversed, or that can be taken care of by following the Pratipaksha Bhavanam. Okay. So again, we are not going too much into the Pratipaksha Bhavanam, just a concept I am introducing over here. But let us know more about the ahimsa. So when you are established in ahimsa, whether that hinsa is of word, of a thought, word and action. So don't think that if I'm not beating anyone, where is the hinsa coming from? So even if you are not beating, you are talking ill about someone, not to him, but maybe you are gossiping about somebody to someone else. That is also hinsa. Even if you are not talking about somebody, gossiping, not thinking bad, then if you're not talking bad, even if you're thinking bad, then also it is hinsa. If you're thinking why this person has done this thing, may something bad happen to him, that is also a hinsa. A supta ichha of hinsa is, of thought of hinsa is also a hinsa. Now one more thing about hinsa is, does it really matter whether the person to whom you are doing hinsa or the thing to which you are doing hinsa, he should be affected by it? Not necessary. For a person, if you are thinking bad about some person, he will not know about it. However, it is going to affect you. So the resistance it is going to cause when you meet him next time, and when you try to talk to him, it is going to cause an obstruction in a relationship with him. So Patanjali has never done or never advised anything to be done to other person. It is all to your own self-study. It is not, he doesn't say you have to behave in this fashion, you have to talk these words, say good morning, say good night, or love the other person. Never. He did not say anything like that. He just said what you have to do yourself, by which you can have the kaivalya, the final outcome of the yoga. So that is ahimsa. Next we go to satya. Satya is truth. What is truth? Do you know the full truth? No one knows the full truth. Because if you know the full truth, you will be a liberated person. You would have already achieved the kaivalya. However, truth can be following the, not following the falsehood, or resisting, or going away from falsehood. So what kind of falsehood can be there? Representing yourself as a what you are not, false identity, or talking something lies, or it could be representing wrong ideas, giving half truth. So all these things are asatya. The more you go away from asatya, you will have the benefit of satya. And what is the benefit of satya, which has been given by Maharshi Patanjali? I will quote the sutra. The sutra says, Satya Pratisthayam Kriya Phalashrayatvam. What is Kriya Phalashrayatvam? Which means, if you, whatever you do and whatever you think is going to happen. It is like the word power, the power of word and the power of action. So if you are firmly established in truth, the actions and consequences will depend upon him. So you will see the live example of this thing is a person who is always talking truth, always established in truthfulness, people will follow him. So this person is going to be an influential person, because you don't have to prove that you are talking truth. The other person understands it, whether he expresses it or not, it is already understood. And he will, next time when you're talking anything, he is going to listen to you, and not only listen to you, he is going to follow you. So the truthfulness will give you following. I should not say, but yes, leadership will automatically come to you. That is the power of truth. What happens if these two things come together? You have to speak truth, but by speaking the truth, you are going to do hinsa. Yeah. So you will find so many people that, come what may, I will speak truth, whether it hurts the other person or not. What do we do in this such case? The best is to keep mum. If by speaking truth you are going to hurt another person, then it is better you don't speak at all. Okay. So that is about the truth. The third yama is asteya. Asteya means non-stealing. Do you really steal? Remember, when you stole anything, stealing anything, it's unthinkable. You don't steal anything from anybody, but yes, you do steal. What do you steal? What, you steal attention, you steal time. You come late, you go late for the meetings, or you steal attention of other person, you steal energy of other person. So there are so many subtle things which you steal. Think about that. It's not only the action, it is also the thought and the word. Okay. So if you are established in non-stealing, asteya, steya is stealing, asteya is non-stealing. If you are established in non-stealing, what will happen? Asteya pratisthayam sarva ratnopasthanam. Sarva ratnopasthanam. So this is a poetic way of narration. Sarva ratna is all kinds of ratnas, wealth. So if you yourself are established in non-stealing, then all the riches, all the wealth will automatically come to you. Yeah. So I think the good rule is to take only what you deserve. Don't try to don't try to take what you don't deserve. Now, today we have got a little perverted by the thought of take what you can and not what you deserve. So a powerful person feels that he deserves, or he can take whatever he doesn't deserve also. So it's all power based. It's not deservedness based. So you will find a person who may be having a lot of power, but he doesn't go for things which he doesn't deserve. Then the wealth will come automatically to him. That is asteya. That is what Patanjali says. You be established in asteya. Automatically, you don't have to run for any, which is very, very relevant for today's time. You don't have to run for wealth. Wealth will come automatically to you. You do your own work. You be established in not stealing. Only try to take whatever you deserve. Think about it when you have time. The third yama is brahmacharya. What is brahmacharya? Is it only celibacy? Only sexual celibacy? No, no. It is not related only to the passion of sex. No, it is related to all the five senses. So it is related to moderation of all the five senses. Brahmacharya means no overuse or no indulgence in your senses. What five senses we are talking about? The sense of smell, the sense of taste, the sense of vision, then touch and hearing. These are the five senses. So what are the indulgences which we do nowadays? A lot of TV watching, a lot of WhatsApp, okay, addictive listening, or eating, taste. So we don't eat for filling our stomach, we eat only for the taste part. So these are the excesses in use of senses. So what does Patanjali say? That if you follow brahmacharya, that means you are taming your senses, then if you are established in brahmacharya, then there will be virya labha. Brahmacharya pratisthayam virya labha. What is virya? Virya is vigor. So you will have vigor in doing whatever you are having. You will have the power to do anything, the energy in doing anything, because your senses are now going to be operating at the maximum level. So they are not, they have not got depreciated because of the overuse, because of the indulgence, overindulgence. Okay. So brahmacharya pratisthayam virya labha. And the last yama is aparigraha. Patanjali says, aparigraha matlab, parigraha is collecting things, possessing. So I want to possess my family, I want to possess my house, my car, my clothes, my shoes, my jewelry, my mobile phone, yeah, the most valued possession. So, and we are so much attached to our possessions that we are not ready to let it off. We cannot think of being away from it. Can you think of being away from your house? Can you think of being away from your car, your possessions? Think of, I think of a story of Lord Janaka, who gave away everything. He just walked off and his whole kingdom was burnt and didn't even look back what is happening to it. That is the level of aparigraha which he followed. But Patanjali says, what is the benefit of aparigraha? Why? What will you get by giving away all the possessions, or by not getting attached to your possessions? It may not mean giving away possessions, but not getting attached to the possessions. What does it mean? What does it give? The labha is aparigraha sthairye janma kathanta sambodha. Aparigraha sthairye janma kathanta sambodha. That means, he says, if you are established, firmly established in aparigraha, then the knowledge of past lives will arise. Little cryptic. What will you do with the knowledge of past lives? It seems like a film story, na? Pichle janam ki katha. No, it's not that. The real story behind that is, if you know the past life story, you will know why you have taken birth, why you have born. Because if your past life was completely fine, there is no karma's balance, then there is no reason to take a birth again. But you have taken birth, which means there is some reason, there is something, some balance which you need to clear off. So how will you know what balance has to be cleared off? So that can be known only if you know what happened in your past life. Now that you can know only by following a parigraha. What is the connection? How will you connect these two? It is connected because if you are giving away all the possessions, you are giving away the memories also. Then you have the power of going back, and that you can take you even to the past life, and then you can understand the purpose why you were born. So this completes the 5 yamas: ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, and aparigraha. Thank you very much. If any questions, kindly you can ask. Am I audible properly? Was I audible?
Thank you. Thank you, Nitinji.
Thank you, Srikanji.
For that wonderful overview about all the introduction as well as all the yamas. Thank you so much.
So after, should I introduce the next speaker?
One second. Okay. Now we'll move on to the next segment, which is the Niyama, the next Ashtanga, So I would invite here Dr. Pratibha Gokhaleji, yoga teacher, to speak about Niyama. Dr. Pratibha ji.
Dhanyavad Nitin ji. Namo Namaha. I am Dr. Pratibha Gokhale. We'll be talking on Niyams, one of the components of Ashtanga Yoga. At the onset, it would be my great pleasure to thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity to talk a little bit on yoga on this International Yoga Day. I'm thankful to you organizers. And I also express my deep sense of gratitude to Maharshi Patanjali, who has laid very strong and powerful foundation in this Bharatvarsh. We all are greatly indebted to him. His principles, his philosophy is eternal, no geographical boundaries. So I dedicate this small speech to Maharshi Patanjali with complete humility. So Niyams are the guidelines for individual behavior. They belong to the second sadhana path, Ashtanga Yoga, one of the components of Ashtanga Yoga, the second anga of Ashtanga Yoga, and they are precisely the guidelines for individual behavior. How an individual should behave in a society as a single human being, as a unit of the society. There are 5 niyams: Shaucha, Santosh, Tapa, Swadhyay, and Ishwar Prem. Let's take a very quick overview of them one by one. The first one is Shaucha. Shaucha is cleanliness. When we think about cleanliness, cleanliness is what? The physical cleanliness, the clean body, clean clothes, clean house, clean surrounding, clean environment. Yes, true. That is needed, very much needed. But Patanjali goes much more beyond this. Cleanliness, cleanliness of the heart, cleanliness of the chitta, cleanliness of the mind. Physical cleanliness can be attained by doing Shuddhi Kriyas, Shat Karma, and so on. One can also get strength, physical strength, by doing asanas and so on. But what we mean here by Shaucha is the purity of heart, the purity from within inside. There is no scope within our heart, within our chitta, within our mind for any kind of negative thoughts. No negative thoughts, no negativity. Completely pure, as clear, as crystal clear, like the flow of water. Let it be so transparent, that so clean that it is a complete reflection of your mind. And it is said that whatever is pure is perfect, and it is very powerful. So when your mind is pure, when you are pure from within inside, from your chitta, automatically you will have the mental strength to face any of the challenges that come across. So Patanjali really here means Shaucha, cleanliness of mind. Make your heart, make your chitta clean by all the time thinking about the positive thoughts. No room for any kind of negativity. And these positive thoughts are not only just for oneself, for individuals, for everybody, whomsoever comes in contact, any individual who comes in our mind. So that is what is Shaucha. The next one is Santosh. Santosh is happiness, contentedness. Generally, we find happiness in worldly affairs, material gains, fame, authority, money, power, etc. Again, nothing wrong in finding happiness. But what happens sometimes that while getting this happiness, sometimes in the process, we become overambitious. Then we start finding the happiness here, there. We become helter-skelter, and then we become entangled into the loop of rat race. Ambition, more gain, more material gain, that gives rise to all kinds of bad kleshas. Avidya, asmita, rag, dvesh, jealousy, overambitiousness, what all? Everything, and then that is the root cause of most of the psychosomatic disorders of the modern lifestyle. Now here when we say about santosh, being happy, being contented, again, the santosh, the ananda, the happiness is again within inside us. In the bargain of being overambitious, of being running behind the material gains, we forget to see the happiness around us. Happiness is there in the smile of a small child. Happiness is there in the smile, the gentle smile, in the smile of a 90 years old grandmother. She may not be having teeth in her mouth, but her hasya, her smile is so cute, so nice. So happiness is something which is to be searched, which is to be found. Happiness is around us everywhere. Happiness is there in the nature, in the Mother Earth, around us, in every human being to whom we meet. So happiness is within, inside. It's there in our antaratma, in our chitta. We forget to find. And then we run behind all the unnecessary things out of our overambitiousness, out of sometimes rat race, competition, and so on. So, santosh is manaprashamanaha. Make your mind cool. Santosh can be attained by chitta prasad. Make your chitta happy by maitri karuna mudita upeksha sukha dukha punya opam. Make your mind happy, contented by vitarka badhane pratipaksha bhav. Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, santushtas satatam yogi yatatma dudha nishchayaha mayyarpita mano buddhir yo madbhaktas same priya. Who is santushta, who is happy from within, inside, that bhakta is priya to me. I like that.
Can you raise your volume a bit, Pratibha?
Sure. Actually, my volume is to the maximum. Maybe I'll raise my voice a little bit. Okay, thank you, sir. Is it okay now? Am I audible?
Yeah, that's fine. Now come nearer. That's now.
Okay. So that is what is santosh. Try to find this santosh from within, inside our atma, from the chitta, from the mind. So santosh, shauch is santosh, tapa. Tapa can be interpreted in tapa is finance, tapa is heat. Here, Maharshi Patanjali wants to say tapa is hard work. Whatever you want to achieve, whatever you want to do, there is no substitute to hard work. Do your duties through all the possible efforts. Bring out your potential to the maximum. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Whatever karma has been allotted to you by birth or whatever, do it with your full ability. Apply your skill to the fullest. Bring out your potential fully and do hard work. And there is no substitute for it. And yes, while doing this hard work, be happy again. But when it says hard work, it is not that one should sit lazily, one should be being happy, contented, santosh, and then, okay, I'm happy, whatever that I'm, no, doing hard work. So, tapas, swadhyay, ishwar, pranidhan, these three niyams, these three rules belong to Kriya Yoga, yoga in action. So, do action, do karma, whatever karma is being allotted to you. See, our philosophy gives us lot of freedom to choose the karma. One can do karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, all are equally important. Do it to the fullest, to the maximum, with complete honesty and due sincerity. That is what is tapa. And for this, next is swadhyay. Swadhyay is self-study. Now, this self-study is a continuous learning, and learning is an all-time, lifetime process, continuous process. Throughout the life, it goes on. Swadhyay, self-study. This Swadhyay can be done by reading good books, scriptures, listening to the scholarly lectures, attending satsanga, and thereby pave a way for your own spiritual enlightenment. Do Swadhyay, do self-study, and it is a nirantar process, continuous process, lifelong process. So, Tapa, Swadhyay, Ishwar Pranidhan. Finally, Idam Namama. This Ishwar, the supreme power, is the greatest. And I offer everything, all the fruits of my karma, and everything, all the blessings, all whatever I am today is because of the blessings of this supreme power. So I offer everything to the Almighty God, Ishwar Pranidhan. For Patanjali, Ishwar is Purusha Vishesh. It is Omkar. So Omkar Jap could be one way of Ishwar Pranidhan. Let's offer everything to Almighty God. And finally, lastly, after following the Kriya Yoga and also by following all the individual rules, guidelines for behavior, individual behavior, Shaucha Santosha Tapas Swadhyay Ishwar Pranidhan, Patanjali says, Samadhi Bhavanartha Kleshatanu Karanarthascha. After doing this Kriya Yoga, one can reduce one's afflictions. And that is the way of spiritual enlightenment. When we follow it, this with due sincerity, honestly, we automatically pave the way to Antaranga Yoga. So this Bahiranga Yoga, if followed nicely, properly, sincerely, will automatically will take us successfully to Antara. And that is what is in short about Niyams. Thank you very much, organizers. Again, I would just conclude by saying what Swami Vivekananda said, that every human being is potentially a divine soul. So let's understand, let's realize, let's identify this divinity amongst all of us, which is there in our Antaranga, Antaratma, Chitta, mind. Thank you very much. I once again bow down. Stay fit, stay healthy, stay safe. Namo.
Thank you, Pratibhaji. We do have a question for you.
Yeah.
If you could stay on. So
Yeah, sure.
it's regarding Swadhyaya.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that it is a 24/7 affair of learning.
Yeah.
So the question is from the group. So how about learning during the sleep time? So how do we apply the swadhyaya
Okay.
during the
Okay.
sleep time?
Okay. Okay. We are all aware about the famous story of Abhimanyu, also in recent times, Niranjanananda. So, if we get deep sleep, and we have 4 stages: Jagruti, Swapna, Sushupti, and the last one. So, in the deep sleep, if we have a very sound sleep, and if we think about all the nice, good scriptures or whatever, all the good thoughts, positive thoughts, they get automatically rooted. It's like farming. Shuddha bija foti, pare rasa gomati. That means if the bij is shuddha, pure, mind is pure, heart, and if the thoughts that are sowed are pure, good, then also you will be awakened. You will be in a in the swapnavastha also, in the during sleeping time also, we will be getting all the good thoughts, and that will give us knowledge, and that will be a kind of a learning. We know about Abhimanyu during his garbha, when he was in the even though he was his mother's garbha, he learned the chakravyuha, how to enter the chakravyuha. Unfortunately, he did not know. He only learned half. He did not know how to come up with chakravyuha. So it is possible, but it needs quite a lot of sadhana. It is not so very easy. Continuous, sustained effort sadhana. It's not so very easy for any common lay person. Yeah. Okay. Anything? Can't hear you, sir. I cannot hear you, sir.
Oh, looks like I was on mute. So thank you, Pratibhaji. So that's all the questions we have for now. And I would request the viewers to post any questions even later on the online session, so that the speakers do get an opportunity to respond to you even post today's current session. Okay. Thank you. Thank you once again, Pratibhaji.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. Next. Next on the panel, we have Dr. K. Shivaramudu, MD, the assistant professor at SV Medical College, Tirupati. And today, in spite of being on the COVID duty, he is here to share some of his insights and knowledge to us for the viewers. Thank you. And I would welcome Dr. K. Shivaramuduji to speak to our viewers about asana.
Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. K. Sivarandu, pediatrician, teacher for
Excuse me,
graduates.
you need to allow Raman Jiji, who is coming for the meeting.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for giving me this opportunity. So according to Patanjali Sutras, Sthiram Sukham Asana. If you sit peacefully and steadily in any pose, that is called asana. So according to me, yoga as a doctor, yoga endures which cannot be treated, and yoga treats which cannot be endured. So in Ashtanga, the asanas, they give many number of benefits, give physical fitness, muscle strength, and increases concentration, both spiritually, physically, and mentally. So there are so many types of asanas. Those are standing, sitting, forward bending, backward bending, and balancing and twisting. So by doing asanas in contrast to exercise, there will be so many benefits. Asanas we will do with control on breathing. That is the main difference between routine exercises and asanas. So as along with physical benefits, there is the release of substance P, which decreases the pain in the joints, and the relaxing, which increases the stretchability, and there is increase in flexibility, and there is certain release of endorphins in the CNS, which gives relaxations, which gives feeling of well-being. And there is yoga, there is definite answer for chronic diseases like cancer and so many psychiatric diseases like depression, anxiety, and even schizophrenia also. So by doing regular yoga, so there are a lot of benefits. So I will show some of the asanas in demonstration. So here in standing asana. So basically we will start with Surya Namaskara. So because of lack of time, allotted for me is 20 minutes. So this is Vrikshasana. So coming to the next pose, that is Parivarta Trikonasana. So this is called Parivrata, that is reverse triangle pose. So next pose is Parsha Konasana. That is, Parsha means side, that is, Kona means angle. That is Parsha Konasana. So in every asana, free breathing. Next, coming to the standing, another pose is slowly.
Dr. Shivaramji, your audio is off. Can you unmute?
These are some of the standing poses. Now we will go to sitting asanas. So here in sitting, there are forward bending. So bending forward, that is main asana of this forward bending is Paschimottanasana. That is Paschimottanasana, and another one is Janu Sirsasana. That means Sirsha and Janu. That is coming to backward bending asanas. This is called Vrishtasana. Vrishta means camel pose. Next, another one is Dhanurasana. That is Dhanush. Next one is Bhujangasana. Bhuja means sarpa. So next, I will show some of the twisting asanas. These are mainly useful for decreasing the fat around the abdomen and hip. So these are very useful for diabetes. Here it is called, first one is Gomukasana. This is Gomukasana. Next one is Bharadwajasana. So in every asana, you have to take free breathing. So that is the main difference between asanas and exercise. And another one is Ardha Matsyendrasana. Next, coming to is very important asana that is called Sarvangasana. That is otherwise it is known as shoulder pose. Next, Halasana. Sarvanga Setubandhasana. Next, coming to the Padmasana with Matsyasana. Time there. 10. Next, I will show some splits which are helpful in balancing chakra, that is Swadhisthana chakra. So this is the horizontal. Next, coming to the vertical, that is called Hanumanasana. Hanumanasana. So next asana I will show is Raja Kapotasana. Raja Kapotasana. Ruler. Next, some balancing asanas, that is called crow pose, that is Bakasana. Next pose is peacock, Mayurasana. So these are some of the asanas.
Thank you, Dr. Shivaram Garu.
Thank you, sir.
We have some questions for you from the audience.
Okay, sir.
If you can briefly take 1 or 2 minutes to answer. So the first question is, how can these asanas help cure diseases? Briefly, if you can answer.
Okay, by doing asanas, some of the physical elements, that is limb defects or joint defects, can be joint stiffness will be slowly, by doing slowly, there will be a decrease in stiffness of the joints, arthritis, and any some disease associated with some anxiety, that is bronchial asthma, diabetes mellitus, which can be caused due to stress. That is, because of the stress, there is a release of oxygen free radicals that will destroy. That free radical release will be decreased by doing asanas. So that is the one reason. And there is some of the disease like diabetes, which is mainly due to this damage due to free radicals. Another one is accumulation of adipose tissue, which later becomes insulin resistant. That fat, that insulin resistant fat will be slowly decreased by doing asanas, some twisting asanas. That is one of them.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So the next question we have is, what are the best times suitable to do the asanas? The best times of the day, I guess.
So best time is early morning, that is 5 to 7. That is the best time to do asanas. So we can do at any time, but that is the best time. That is includes in Brahma Murti.
Thank you, sir. We have one final question. Can you start asanas at any age? So someone gave example, for example, 40 years, 50 years, or 60 years.
So we can start asanas at any age, at very young age, that is below 8 years, because of there is some skeletal development, that is some artificial age. So that will be affected. Otherwise, it can start at any age. But asanas is by any person depending upon his capacity.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for taking your time, even though you are on duty today, for spending time with us. Okay, sorry, I think we have some audio.
Question? Can I ask one last question, very brief?
Sure. Go ahead.
Sir, I have sciatica. So I have some pain in the right buttock, and the foot is numbness. And in the calf muscle also some pain is coming. So what are the asanas for sciatica? Do we have particular asanas for sciatica?
Sir, you went on mute.
I asked question for sciatica, sir.
Yeah. Dr. Shivaram Garu, you're on mute. Can you unmute yourself?
Can't hear him.
Yeah.
So
Now you're good.
Any low back pain, mainly low back pain, that is due to shortening of the psoas muscle. So that is the muscle between this area connects hip joint and abdomen, that is iliopsoas muscle. During long standing sedentary life, there will be shortening of the muscle. Then the yoga postures which increase that stretches that iliopsoas muscles, definitely reduce sciatica. Another one is by doing some of the asanas which strengthens paraspinal muscles. So by strengthening the paraspinal muscles, there will be definitely there is a decreased load on spinal cord and this spinal skeletal. So definitely that is the decrease pains. And there will be some of the disc abnormalities, disc collapse, and the malaligned disc will be slowly decreased. Yoga is a self-therapy, sir. It is self-therapy. It takes its own flow. That is my opinion.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your time. Okay.
So basically, I am a doctor. My profession is Dhyana, but my passion is yoga. That is it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Excuse me. Excuse me, sir.
Sir, madam.
Yes, 1 second, please.
Yes, madam.
Okay, next we have Dr. Yugandhar Garu. So he's going to speak and give some background story related to the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi and what is his role and relationship with the International Yoga Day. Which is recognized globally today. So here,
Yeah. Yeah. In the year 2014, there was so much of momentum among most reputed and popular yoga teachers of the country and abroad as well. And they submitted the memorandum to the then Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, to influence the United Nations General Assembly and make a draft resolution to announce 21st June as the International Yoga Day, to promote the concept of yoga. And because yoga is not related to any religion, and there is no discussion on any past life, previous life, whatever lives, it is only about present life, health and happiness. So they all requested Narendra Modi ji to make a draft resolution and see that it gets implemented. So in September, the proposal was made by Narendra Modi ji to the United Nations, 2014. And in the next month, October 2014, the then Ambassador of India to United Nations, Shri Ashok ji, has submitted the draft resolution to the respected members of United Nations General Assembly. And in December 2014, it came for poll, and almost 177 countries representatives, the heads of the nations, have voted in favor of announcement of 21st June as International Yoga Day. In the history of United Nations, this is the first time when the member nations have voted in such a magnanimous way, and very quickly a draft resolution was passed down, and United Nations thus declared 21st June, the summer solstice, as the day of yoga, and it has thus become the International Yoga Day since then. In the history of United Nations, this is the quickest, fastest day which was announced by United Nations, and the member countries responding to it in such a great majority. That is one historical achievement by Shri Narendra Modi ji. And since then, from 2015, this year 2020, every year 21st June, we are celebrating International Yoga Day. across almost all countries of the world. 2015 was the first International Yoga Day, and this year is the 6th International Yoga Day. Because of Corona time, we are all meeting like this across the digital space. The theme of this year International Yoga Day is do yoga at home and stay with your family. That is this year's theme. Last year it was declared by Narendra Modi ji to have yoga for heart. So during the draft resolution, it was the first and only Hindu country of the world. Nepal is the first country to support Narendra Modi ji by Mr. Koirala. And later, the charm, the charisma and glamour of Narendra Modi ji influenced all the member nations to vote for the International Yoga Day. And even the Christian popes and so many religious leaders across the world supported him in a very big way, because it is nowhere related to any religion. And even the fundamentalistic religious elements across the world also supported, except for the Om sound, because they thought that it is truly Hinduistic in nature. And even for Surya Namaskaras, there was some questions rising, like Surya is a god of Hindus, so we can't take Surya and Om into consideration. Rest of the part we take it, okay, it's okay, doesn't matter at all. So whatsoever it may be the reasons and their belief systems, it is thus official to have 21st June as International Yoga Day. Thus we are here to celebrate this and be a part of this summit. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that insight and bringing to the light some of the story behind International Yoga Day that some of us may not be aware of. Thank you. Okay, next. Okay, we have the next speaker ready. So hereby, I would like to invite dear Sandhya Patki ji.
Namaste.
To speak to us on the next limb of the Ashtanga, which is Pranayama. Sandhya Patki ji is a principal and also the founder of UH Yoga Institute. Sandhya ji, please.
Namaste. Thank you, Srikanji and World United Organization for giving us this platform to speak about Ashtanga Yoga. We have well begun discussing what Ashtanga Yoga is, and we spoke about Patanjali's view. It is keeping in mind the Ashuddhi Kshaya, Jnana Dipti and Viveka Khyati, and for that the Ashtanga Yoga was the path laid out, and Patanjali has given different angas or the limbs. And after having discussed Yama, Niyama and Asana seen and demonstrated, that was wonderful, Dr. Shivramadu, very nice demonstration of Asana by yourself. And then now we are coming to the Pranayama and Patanjali's take on what Pranayama is in the scheme of Ashtanga Yoga. Pranayama was always practiced in this Bharatvarsha, and when Patanjali incorporated it as a yoga technique, as a part of the 8 limbs, we need to understand what he thought about Pranayama. And Pranayama, he has defined Tasmin Sati Shwasa Prashwasayor Gati Vichhed in his Yoga Sutra. So Tasmin Sati indicates having made our body ready after the practice of asana. Then we are moving ahead in the practice of pranayama. And in pranayama, he defines pranayama as a gati vichhed. Gati vichheda is like a human interference in the natural flow of breathing, that is shwasa and prashwasa. That is what pranayama is in the eyes of Patanjali. And then he has moved ahead and given us a description and given 4 types of pranayam that can be done. And that is bahya abhyantara, that is prolonged inhalation or prolonged exhalation, or there could be a stambha vritti, that is a halt or pausing. So that pause could be either after inhalation or after exhalation, and then it would be long, short, and that's the description. And Patanjali has left it loose over there. He has not gone into details of establishing how the pranayam is done, and I think that is left to Hatha Yoga to give us a detailed description on how these are done. And that is where we appreciate the skill of Patanjali, because he is focused on the goal and not on the means. But these means are important. And what is the importance of the means? He is coming up in his next sutra, where he says, Tataha kshiyate prakashavaranam. And I think that is the most important part in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra related to pranayama. For pranayama, he has devoted almost 5 sutras at a stretch while discussing Ashtanga Yoga. So what is this? Kshiyate Prakashavaranam. Prakasha is a light, and that is the light of the sattva in our human endeavor. So it is the light avarana on the prakasha. So the sattva is covered or avaran by the rajas and the tamas guna. So these rajas and tamas guna are manifested in through our actions, kriyas, the karma that we do, the klesha, and that is what is implied here. So when we are doing pranayama practices, it is just an act. Breathing is just something that is happening normally. I mean, come and think about it. There were some yogis who thought of going deeper into the very act of breathing. And I'm sure till today, even now, all of us who have been learning pranayam from their different schools, before they were introduced to pranayam, nobody has ever thought of how am I breathing? Can I stop my breathing in a different manner? Can I do a kumbhaka? Can I do my alternate nostril breathing? Can I do ujjayi? Can I do shitali? All these varieties of pranayama that evolved, none of us have thought of it at a common man perspective. And I think that is the beauty of pranayam. So when we explore and learn these pranayam, it is helping the prakasha avarana nikal jata. It is removal of the avarana. And what is this? Because we are carrying out certain karmas, certain actions, and these actions have an impact on our life. The karma that we are doing, it is creating a karma bondage, it is creating a sanskara, it is creating an impression. And because of this karmic sanskara, karmic impression, there are certain drives we are born with, and these drive pull us to do certain things again. So it is a klesha and the karma which is always playing its role, and this is an endless action that is happening. And unless we put a stop to this, there is no progress in yoga. And that is why pranayam comes as an important limb. By practicing pranayam, the very act of breathing, even if we do right now and explore, come on, everybody, get seated upright, close your eyes, and take a moment to observe your breathing. Exhale out completely. Take a smooth, deep, long inhale. And a smooth, deep, long exhale. You can slowly open your eyes. What we just did now was the Gati Vichcheda. We interfered in our natural breathing rhythm. And what we discovered is that for this moment of one long breath, our mental activity was at halt. We did not think anything. We were just fixed, glued onto the very act of breath. And this, we did it only in one long breath. Imagine a person, a yogi, who is doing the sadhana of practicing pranayama over and over for an extended time, continuously for a long duration. Definitely, it is going to alter the way he thinks. And when that mental alteration is happening, Patanjali has moved into the next sutra and he says the benefit as Dharana Sucha Yogyata Manasaha. The manas, the mind, becomes fit to do the dharana, that is the concentration. Why this manas is required to do concentration? We all know our manas is not stable at one point, it is multi-dimensional, because the manas, mind, is the leader or the ruler of the 10 senses, 10 indriyas. So all the 5 karmendriyas and the 5 jnanendriyas are pulling the mind, and the mind is moving along with them everywhere. Even while we are here in this program right now, some parallel actions are still happening. Our mind is parallelly involved in the other things, and that is the basic nature of the mind. And this mind first needs to be set at one place. Unless this mind is brought at one place, the further anga journey does not happen in yoga. And that is the importance of pranayama. So I just summarize what I have spoken about pranayama in the language of Patanjali. First, he is talking about the gati vichcheda. Then he is telling about the types of pranayama, which is inhaling longer, exhaling longer, or kumbhaka or stambha vritti. The Patanjali Yoga Sutra writes these words: Bahya Abhyantara vritti, Bahya vritti, Antar vritti, and Stambha vritti. And then there is a fourth pranayam, which is Chaturthaha, which is explained as which happens without human interference. A pranayam which happens just on its own by the practice of doing the pranayam over and over again and again. There is some alteration that is happening in the breathing mechanism. As a result, the pranayam just occurs. And that's the point when this prakasha varanam is removed and the tamas and rajas stop playing its role, the karmic connections and the klesha are overcome, and the mind is established in the sattva. And parallelly, the another benefit because of this sattvic mind is it is able to concentrate. It is ability to concentrate improves dharana sucha yogyata manasaha. So if anybody wants to ask any question, we can go ahead with that, or else I will
Okay.
ask you all to do one pranayam with me.
Sandhya ji,
Yes.
we do have one question so far
Yes.
for you. So with the pranayama,
Huh.
how does it help the lung diseases, especially in the wake of
COVID.
ongoing COVID is what, yeah, that is the question. So
Yes,
if you
yes.
could throw some light to the audience.
I actually had it in mind, but then I thought I have to focus on the Ashtanga Yoga and Patanjali's view on it. Good that question came. That's why I actually closed my speech also a little early so that I can take up the question. Yes.
Perfect.
This COVID is a major fear in everybody's mind, and now that the lockdown has released, in fact, we are in a even more dangerous situation, because now the penetration has occurred and it is all over, and we are really unsafe now to move out. So we can safeguard ourselves, and Prime Minister in his speech in the morning said community, immunity, and unity, and that's what he spoke about it. What we will be the pranayam of Brahmari, Ujjayi. These are the two very important pranayam. So Brahmari pranayam helps overcome infections, helps to fight infections rather in a fight. And there is a research done pranayam by Dr. Taneja, who is based in Delhi, and his research says that it increases the nitric oxide. I am not able to use the correct term. Dr. Yugandhar, you could guide me if I have used the right term for this, because this is useful in our human body to fight the infections. So is it nitric oxide or something that contributes? So that is what Dr. Taneja's research paper says about Brahmari. So as a yoga, even if we don't know the paper, what is it, we can simply do the Brahmari pranayam. I mean, we are using technology, but we don't have to know how the computer is formed, how the mobile is formed. You're still using it. So let's go ahead and do the Brahmari pranayam itself and understand its benefits. So Brahmari pranayam. So for a benefit of everybody, I would suggest you to close your ears like this. But those who are aware of the yoga technique called as Yoni Mudra or the Shanmukhi Mudra, they would be performing the keeping the fingers like this, closing all the 5 senses. So thumb closes the ear, index finger on the eyelashes. This is on the middle edge where the hard and soft bone meets. On the upper lip is ring finger, and the below the lower lip is little finger. And placing our hands like this, we would be chanting the humming sound. So in this humming, the humming has to be on a high pitch. So if you, while inhaling, you make a sound while inhaling, likewise that high pitch sound of humming will come in Brahmari. I'll repeat, just look at me. I'm inhaling with a sound. So when I inhale with a sound, it helps me to exhale also with the high pitch sound. Otherwise, normally everybody does like this. So when that is done this way, the humming is only in the cheek area. Here it has to reach to the Agya Chakra area. That is where it will help to alter the chemistry and help release that particular chemical by which we will be able to fight the infections. And of course, diet is very important. Regular practice of asana, regular practice of pranayam, regular practice of diet, ahar, vihar, achar, vichar is the pillar of yoga. That is what will help us to overcome COVID. Any other question?
Madam, if you permit me, I can add one line.
Yes, please.
Okay. I was having migraine, severe migraine for about 7 to 8 years. So that was at 42 years age. So I got introduced to this pranayam, some basic pranayam exercises which were part of Art of Living Sri Sri Ravi Shankar's program.
Okay.
And in that 6 days program, my migraine was gone. And for 2 years, I religiously did that morning and evening. It never came back to me in that kind of intensity. If it came, it was normal headache kind of thing. But I was so surprised that in one go it has gone while I was going through the training itself. But 7 years, it troubled me like anything. The only difference was the pranayam exercise. And I'm so grateful to all the teachers and the rishis who had invented this pranayam. And ever since I have been telling anybody, whoever is suffering with migraine. Thank you, madam. You have explained it so well. Thank you.
Wonderful. Anybody else to ask any question? Then in that case, shall I make everyone do the Nadi Shodhan pranayam if we have time?
Sure, Sandhyaji. Go ahead.
Yes.
We do have 4 minutes.
4 minutes. So that's a good time. We can really experience the pranayama. So Nadi Shodhan means alternate nostril breathing. So for this pranayama, you will be holding your hand like this. So to close the right thumb, to close your right nostril, and these fingers will be placed on your forehead like this, and with the little finger, ring finger, you are closing this nostril. So you can do this kind of maneuvering, and these fingers are rested here. So please get ready. Breathe in from your left nostril, everyone. Though I am turning my face for you to see, you don't have to. You can just face and sit straight. Inhale from the left nostril. Hold the breath in as comfortably as you can, and then breathe out from the right nostril. Breathe in from the right nostril. Hold the breath again as much as you can, comfortably. And breathe out from the left. So we continue, everybody, continue the pranayam. We will do 3 times at a stretch with your eyes closed, and come to the experience of the pranayam. While our friends are still doing the pranayam, parallelly, I would like to add one line about asana. What is Patanjali's take on asana? Patanjali has in nowhere written not a single name of any asana, that this is this asana. All that is written in Hatha Yoga book. Patanjali says, Thira Sukham Asanam. Asana is that position which is steady and comfortable. And while doing the asana, he also suggests Prayatna, Shaithilya, and Ananta Samapatti, which is Prayatna is an effort in doing the asana, which was fantastically done by Dr. Shivaramodu. So that's the effortful practice, that is the asana. And Patanjali says, when you are in the asana, release the effort of asana, Prayatna, Shaithilya, and do Ananta Samapatti. That is, concentrate on the infinite. And the infinite is the Pancha Tattvas. There's a vast Akash Tattva, vast element of Teja, Surya. There's a vast element of light, vast element of Jala. So you can choose any of the Tattva, concentrate on the infinite, and thereby what will happen is a Tato Dvandva Anabhighata. That is, it will help one overcome the pull of opposites. And when a person's body, spirit has overcome the pull of opposites, then his pranayam sadhana can happen flawless and beautifully. That's the contention of asana in Raja Yoga, Okay, so I am done. Namaste. Can't hear you.
Sorry, I keep doing this mistake. So thank you, Sandhyaji. So we do have a lot of comments and feedback as well for you on the session. So you'll be able to see all of it on the YouTube. later. Thank you so much for your time and also having the practical session. So now is the fun part. Now I would like to introduce you to my co-host, Rajashekar. He will take the program from now onwards, moving forward. So just a second.
Namaste, Namaste, Masters. Namaste, everybody. Welcome to World United and happy International Yoga Day. Thank you so much for the wonderful speeches and meeting all the great masters so far. Now I continue inviting with Hemangi Marte ji. She's a yoga teacher. She's going to talk on Pratyahara. Hemangi ji, can you please share your wisdom? Thank you.
Namo Namaha. Namo Namaha, everyone. So, today we will talk about Pratyahara. Pratyahara, Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. So, Pratyahara is said to be works as a bridge between Bahiranga Yoga and Antaranga Yoga. Or you can say it is a gateway for Antaranga Yoga. Means after doing Yama, Niyama, Asana and Pranayama, now you are ready. You are ready for Pratyahara. So what is the effect of Pranayama practice? The effect, Sage Patanjali says, as Sandhya ma'am told us, Tatak Shiyate Prakasha Varana. So now the Chitta is the conglomeration of Mana, Buddhi and Ahankar. Mana is mind, Buddhi is intelligence, and Ahankar is. So Chitta is made up of all these three. And with our sense organs, ear, eyes, nose, skin, and jiva, that is tongue, we gather knowledge and it is gone in the Chitta. So Chitta is the storehouse or memory. So 90% memory and 10% whatever we gain from outside through our Jnanendriyas. In this way, we gather lots of inputs from outside towards inside. Yeah? And it goes to our storehouse, memory house. So what is Pratyahara? Now, because of Pranayama effect, the Chitta, the covering of Chitta means Tamasa and Rajasa, now that coating started thinning. Yeah? Patla hone lagta hai. It starts thinning now. And the true Sattva starts illuminating. So now, Patanjali says that Pratyahara definition is Swavishaya Samprayoge Chitta Swarupanukara Ivendriyana Pratyahara. As if, all these indriyas are under control and they are not interested outside, but they are interested inside. They are inward oriented. Now, inward oriented means what? So, in easy common words, I can say that now when individuals see ice cream, it is not attractive and want to eat, but ice cream just comes and goes from the eyes. Yeah. So there is a knowledge about ice cream, but no interaction with that. There is no urge. Suppose I hear many sounds from outside, but now I'm totally oriented inward and I want to listen the heartbeats, the impulses coming and going, and the blood circulation flow. I want to hear that sound. Now whole orientation is inward and not outward. Like Bhagavan Shri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, how the tortoise closes his limbs and completely inward. In the same way, human being also, individual also, completely closes from the sense organs, and the sense organs now are completely oriented inward. But how this is possible? Is it easily possible? Or can we force the withdrawal of the senses? Because pratyahara, prati, that is opposite, and ahara means what is the ahara of the sense organs. But now this withdrawal of the senses cannot be forced. Yeah? Because if it is forced, it will again stamp impression on our chitta. So memory house again increases. Yeah? So what should be done? And how should be done? So Swami great philosopher J. Krishnamurti says awareness. Yeah? Choiceless total awareness gives you, yeah, or so to say, keeps away the chitta from all the sensory objects or subjects, vishay. Yeah? So that total choiceless awareness helps individual for withdrawal of the senses. For example, when there are yellow leaves on the tree and green leaves on the tree. So yellow leaves fall automatically on its own down. But if I pluck the green leaf from the tree, it keeps mark, yeah, wound on the tree. So withdrawal of the senses should not be fought and forced with oneself. We should understand the theory of attraction and repulsion. So what is attraction and repulsion? So we should understand that actually when I see ice cream, what memories I get, what happiness I connect with the ice cream, that is totally from my chitta. So I should understand the magnetism of attraction and repulsion. And then I will be able to keep away. So Osho says that one should ask the question to oneself that who is the boss? In me, who is the boss? My soul or spirit, or my sensory organs, my eyes, ears, nose, tongue, yeah, and skin. So of course the answer will be my spirit or my soul is the boss. Yeah. So I would like to say again that Pratyahara is withdrawal completely of the senses. So what will happen? Patanjali says that tata parama vashyate indriyana. So with withdrawal of the senses, practice yoga sadhana, and with that you get the control on your senses, on your jnanendriya. Yeah? So, and what will be the afterwards? Afterwards, the readiness for dharana will come. So, by pratyahara, you are completely ready now for dharana, for higher spiritual experiences, which will lead us to kaivalya, to samadhi. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now everybody is open for questions.
Thank you, madam. Such a wonderful message. Dear friends, anybody have questions? Please raise your hand. Madam, this Pratyahara technique, how do you suggest the amount of practice so that anybody can withdraw from the senses? So what are the techniques so you can help the beginners especially?
Basically, I would like to say that there is no fixed or time-tested technique as such, because individual has to develop on his own the technique. Yeah, means attraction and repulsion and where actually my mind goes, and there I have to stop or control my mind. Means suppose I just listen music and then connect with my memory house the impressions of that particular music, or I am attracted to that. Especially mostly it happens with the tongue. Yeah, when our eyes see some delicious food, then our tongues get salivated and gets attracted. So repulsion, for example, the tongue. I will just tell you one experience of mine with the practicing with diabetic patients. So the diabetic patient of mine used to have lot of craving for the Srikhand, yeah, for the sweet Srikhand item. So what I suggested, that just keep 1 spoon of that sweet item in your mouth, yeah, and wait there. Let it be remain there for 2 to 3 minutes or more also. Is it possible? No, it's not possible at all, because the saliva gets attracted with that taste. But automatically, when it starts digestion in the mouth, slowly, you gulp it, and the happiness which is related to that Shrikhand vanishes. It remains hardly for a few seconds. I just told the client to keep your Shrikhand in mouth for 3 minutes, but it is not at all possible. So slowly, your mind takes the notice of the happiness. Of course, it vanishes. Yeah, it is not a long lasting or staying for more time. In the same manner, the sense organs which give you the happiness, it is for few seconds. So I just try that. Thank you.
Nice, madam. I myself have some cravings. Really, that is useful. One more question, madam. Can you elaborate on Kaivalya state? This is one of viewers asked from YouTube.
So Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama. So Pranayama and then Pratyahara. Pranayama cleanses Chitta, and then Pratyahara is the gate, the opening for higher spiritual steps that are Antaranga Yoga, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. So Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi will take one to understand the original self, and that is Kaivalya. Kaivalya that is Samadhi state, or Kaivalya. It is liberation from the chain, yeah, of birth and death. The true meaning of Kaivalya is completely liberation. Yeah. So with Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi, one is completely liberated from all the attachments, all the cravings, and now even in after Pratyahara, that is because that is I said it is the gateway, means there is a flash of understanding the liberation also. Means now you are so composed, you are so clear within yourself, and you don't expect any happiness from outside. Yeah, you get the happiness inside completely, of which you are in search of. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, madam. We have 5 more minutes. If you would like to share, extend your wisdom, continue
I would like to hand it over to Dharana.
There is one more question.
Yes, sir.
So the next question we have is, how can we take the senses inward?
That is a really difficult endeavor. That is a really difficult endeavor. But because
practice yoni mudra.
yes, that is what I was suggesting. See, Brahmari pranayam with yoni mudra. Yoni is what? Yoni mudra means Shanmukhi mudra, as just now Madam explained. The name given yoni mudra is how the fetus is in the womb of mother. In that same manner, in this Shanmukhi or yoni mudra, we are completely closed within ourselves. We close, this is symbolical, we close our senses and we are completely drawn inward within ourselves. Our basic orientation is outside, but now with Brahmari Pranayam, the waves are created in the brain and we are completely inward oriented. So I suppose I experienced that Brahmari Pranayam is the best technique for Pratyahara with Yoni Mudra, of course. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. It's really wonderful to have you today. Once again, thank you so much. So now I invite Ramanajit Grewal, sir, is a yoga teacher, to speak on Dharana. Ramanajit, sir, I request you to please unmute yourself.
Am I visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I am audible also. Okay. मुस्कुराते मुस्कुराते धीरे से आंखें बंद कर लें. Just close your eyes with a gentle smile. Hands in Namaskar Mudra in front of the chest. Base of the thumb touching the heart region. Just become aware of your breath. Now we are going to chant Om 3 times. And I want you to focus on the sound of Om. Where is the sound rising from? Where is it ascending? And where is it going? ओम के लिए गहरी लंबी सांस लें. आंखें बंद रखें. Keep on experiencing and focusing on the vibrations of Aum in the body, mind, senses complex. With a gentle smile, slowly open your eyes. Okay. You must have noticed that when you are chanting Om and focusing on the sound of Om and where it is coming from and where it is going, there was no other thought in your mind. And that no thought state gives us a state of peace. And this no thought state, the beginning of the no thought state can be brought about by focusing the mind. The focus is the initial point of the triad of Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. It is mentioned for the first time in PYS 2.29 as one of the 8 limbs. Fair enough, no problem. The second time it is mentioned in 2.53 in reference to pranayama. Dharanastu cha yogyata manasa. This is where the concept of dharana becomes interesting. Up till now, Patanjali was going in a sequence, limb by limb. Yam, Niyam, Asana, Pranayama. Here, what he does, he mentions Dharana before Pranayama. And the interesting part is, he gives no explanation for this. Neither has he given any explanation, neither has any commentator critiqued this. Why has he mentioned Dharana before Pranayama? It is very interesting. Okay. And then the third time Dharana is mentioned is in 3.1. It is interesting, I think, the importance given to Dharana by Patanjali. Other than Samadhi, Dharana is possibly the only ang which is mentioned in 2 parts. Here, he gives the definition of Dharana. Desh, Bandh, Chitasya, Dharana. Now, I've read book after book, commentator after commentator, articles on the net. They all say Dharana is concentration of the mind on one point. It is the binding of the concentration of the consciousness to one point. I beg to disagree. Dharana is not the concentration or the binding of the consciousness to one point. Patanjali has very categorically used the word desha. Desha does not mean point. Desha means area. And the implications of this are, he is admitting that the Dhyana, the focus, the Dharana, the focus is not yet razor sharp. It is not very pointed. It is in a small area, but it is not a point. Had he meant point, he would have used a word like bindu or some other such word. Okay. And here, see, the root of the word dharana is dhri. That means to hold, to steady, to be fixed on. Okay. Dharana from the point of view of Patanjali may be translated as holding steady or single focus or collection of the focus of the mind. Over here, I would like to add my own interpretation. It is collection or focus of the mind joined with retention of breath. That is why possibly he has mentioned Dharana in connection with Pranayama. He has not mentioned Pratyahara in connection with Pranayama. In 2.54, he just defines what Pratyahara is. In 2.55, he gives you the benefits. But going deeper into why Dharana has been mentioned along with the Pratyahara, this is the only conclusion I could come to. Sometimes it is important to study each word of a master craftsman like Patanjali. But it is also important to know what is implied by what he has not said. He may not say everything word by word, but he implies something. And that is the implication of, according to me, I stand to be corrected, why Dharana has been mentioned in connection, in relation with Pranayama. Then interestingly, I told you, Dharana is mentioned for the third time in 3.1. I've already told you about it. The word desh means area and not point. Dharana, from a practical point of view, is fixing the mind on a specific area. It is important also not that we fix it on anything. It is important that we fix it on a yogic object. And yogic objects have been thought to be the center of the navel, lotus of the heart, the light in the head, the tip of the nose, tip of the tongue. And it should be auspicious, such as a deity also. When we focus the mind intensely into one area, the rest of the mind tends to quiet down. When the mind quietens down, there is less room for thoughts and other distractions to come in. And that, in a sense, is preparing the mind for Dhyana. Dharana is the initial step, first step of concentrative meditation. Vyasa has commented this triad of Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi is the direct means to Sampragnata Samadhi. Shankaracharya says, yoga can be affected even without going through the 5 limbs of yoga. By the mere accomplishment of the triad of Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. But without that triad, yoga is not possible for anyone. Because yoga is essentially associated with the operation of Dharana and the other two. Even in our epic Mahabharata, the importance of Dharana is shown. At a time, Dronacharya calls the princes and he wants to test their focus in an archery skill. There's a statue of the vulture put high up in the air. Call Duryodhana first. Ask him to shoot at the head of the bird. Duryodhana is about to take aim, or takes aim, and Dronacharya asks him, what do you see? Say, I see the cloud, I see the tree, I see the leaves, I see the bird. He says, shoot. He shoots and he misses. The next prince comes, and the next, and the next. They all say the same thing. Till Arjun comes. Dronacharya asks Arjun, what do you see? Arjun says, I see only the eye of the bird. He says, shoot. He shoots and he doesn't miss the target. All the others had missed the target. This is an example of focus. Yeah. Dharana is basically training yourself to meditate. Dhyana is the actual state of meditation. Now, dharana practices are being passed off as meditation. They ask you to do a visualization, focus on something, focus on your breath. And just this simple focusing makes people feel good and they feel they have meditated and, they feel great about it, not knowing that they have not meditated. Actually, they've only done dharana. Dharana is, see, whenever I give a talk on yoga on any of the angas, I like to present something new, a new perspective, and also as to how a thing, that ang is applicable in our daily life. Okay. I've already given you a new perspective of why dharana has been mentioned before Pratyahara. Now, other than breathing, I think dharana is something which all of us in our daily life are applying to some extent or the other. But we are not aware of it. When we're reading a book, when we are studying, when we are watching TV, or anything that holds our interest, holds our focus interest, is dharana. When it becomes yogic is when we become aware of it, that I am doing this. If it is happening without awareness, it is just simple paying attention. It becomes yogic when we become aware of that attention. And why? Why should we have dharana in our life, in our daily life? See, whatever we pay attention to, we connect to that. And we connect to that not only at a physical level, when we keep paying repeated, focused attention to something, we connect to that intuitively. Dharana is like any other muscle. The more we practice it, the more we can improve it. We can make it sharper. We can make it stronger. Up till now, multitasking was considered a very desirable skill. Well, I can do 5 things at one time. I can watch TV, talk to my boss, work on an essay or something like that. Until people started cracking up. Now people are coming back to the old principles of do one thing at a time. Be focused on what you do. And that very simply is dharana. Being 100% on what you do it completely na, man laga ke kijiye. That is dharana in everyday life. It is a practice of controlling your mind and taking your mind where you want it to go, instead of letting your mind take you where it wants you to go. Okay? When you're fully engrossed in your current task, there is no room for indecision or debate. You can practice it in your everyday life. You can set timer for tasks. You can decide that I'm going to be focused on this one task for a certain amount of time, whatever that work may be. Even if it's just washing dishes or having a cup of tea, just be totally involved in that. It is when we are not involved, not focused in that one task, other thoughts come to the mind. Okay. Dharana, you can bring dharana to your yoga practice also. when you focus only on the breath, it's called Pranayama. You can focus on an intention. You can focus on a mantra. Actually, even mantra jap and prayer can be looked upon as dharana practices. That is the reason I made you chant Om right in the beginning, so that your mind gets focused on this talk. Okay? And I will conclude by saying that if the feet of Dharana are grounded in Pranayama Pratyahara, then the heart of Dharana is Dhyana, and its upward ascension fortified in the clouds of Dharmamik Samadhi. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. What a wonderful message. It's really Dhyana concentration thing on daily life example, which you've given is very deep, sir. I really liked it. I understood that. And also towards the meditation direction, it's really amazing, sir. So namaste, sir. I think now I request Dr. Yugandhar Garu, who is a spiritual guide, who is going to talk on today on Dhyana and Samadhi.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Can I say something?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Yeah, I mean, at two occasions, Ramanji ji raised this question, why this dharana is coming prior to Pratyahara. And he also mentioned that Patanjali has been very specific about using the words. And thank you, Ramanji ji, for putting that question across, because that set the thinking. And please correct me if I am wrong, but I think when Patanjali talks about dharana before Pratyahara, he's talking about dharana su yogyata manas. So he's talking about manas. And when he's talking about dharana, he's saying desha bandha chittasya dharana. So chitta is still a subtle dimension. And I think with dharana, dhyan, samadhi, as Hemangi ji rightly pointed out, that we are progressing towards the antaranga sadhana. So I think mind is still we are able to catch hold of through the senses, and that's why it is in the external purview. And when we are moving into the internal world, it is the chitta that we want to catch actually. So probably by doing pranayama, we are getting the mind in our hand, and then with having this mind in our hand, we are progressing in pratyahara, working through the senses, and that's when we are still coming in the subtler dimension, that is chitta, and that's where the dharana and the antaranga sadhana could happen. So please guide if it's going ahead rightly.
Yes, madam. Yes.
Okay. Sanjay ji, that is you have given an explanation. What question are you raising? What question are you raising?
Question, sir. I just thought I am just giving a thought process that led to your question. So if it is going in a right direction is what my question is.
Anything that is studying the mind is going in the right direction. But I have raised the question, that is my way of thinking. I'm questioning why has he raised dharana before pratyahara. Pratyahara is a bridge, okay? Now dharana is the antarang. He is mentioning an antarang before a bridge or a bahirang. That is, I'm exploring that myself. I would like you to explore it also, and other scholars to explore it also. There's no problem in that. And desh, the word desh has been used. Desh means area, okay? It is still not focused. It is still not a bindu. It's still not laser sharp. It's still not razor sharp. It's still wavering and go and come, go and come. See, you have to appreciate the words of a master craftsman. Patanjali jaisa craftsman nahi hai. Appreciate the use of every word. And also appreciate why is not used a certain word. Both the things have to be appreciated. That is my way of looking at it. You are entitled to look at things your way. No problem. We will all explore it together.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, madam. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Once again, sir, Yugandhar sir. So I request you to start in a minute.
Welcome to the Yoga Summit 2020 on the occasion of the International Yoga Day. It's a great privilege for me to speak on Dhyana on this occasion from the perspective of Sri Patanjali Maharshi. As we have learned so many things in terms of Bahiranga Yoga, Antaranga Yoga, certainly Dhyana, the element of Dhyana comes from the Antaranga Yoga. The first four, Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, they do come from the external yoga or Bahiranga Yoga. And the Pratyahara onwards, where Pratyahara, Ahara means the food. For physical body, the food is in form of the physical food, in the form of biryani, idli, whatever food that you take, varan bath. But for the mind, but for the spirit, the food is the inputs through sense organs. So if we can arrest the input from sense organs by way of closing eyes and staying in a silent area, no obnoxious smells and no tactile sensations whatsoever. So the sensory organs move within, and this moving within can be called as a Pratyahara. And this type of consciousness where we internalize the external senses, it can be called as the Pratyak Chetana. So when it comes to Dhyana, which is the aftermath of Dharana, once we internalize the senses through the method of Pratyahara, Dharana, the sustained awareness, steps in. And as the previous speaker told, Desha means an area, not a spot, a pinpoint, like Bija. We have not come to the Bija state or even Nirbija state. So it is an area. So that area is Patanjali calls as Pratyaya. Pratyaya means the object of attention. Gautam Buddha calls it as Thapana. What is Pratyaya for Patanjali is Thapana for Gautam Buddha. The object of attention, which is an area. Exactly. So the area where you put your attention is a subjective phenomenon. As he told, be it a mantra, be it Om, be it breath, be it whatever, Tratak or Nasikagra, Bhrumadya, Kutastha, Hara area. The Jain people practice at Hara area, lower abdominal area, Nabhi Chakra area. So different people have different ways of going within. Everything is fine. But what is most important is the state of consciousness that is happening as an aftermath of Dharana. That is very important. The extended Dharana or continued Dharana or sustained Dharana or even more focused Dharana is Dhyana. So what starts or begins with Dharana must have to continue as Dhyana, where the cessation of thoughts is even more deeper. The only difference between Dharana and Dhyana is depth, the degree of silence, the degree of internalization, the degree of focus. It differs only in degree, nothing else. The reason why Patanjali calls it as Tatra Pratyayai Kathanatha Dhyanam. Tatra Pratyayai Kathanatha Dhyanam. So the Pratyaya or Desha, the point of attention, the place of attention, should flow like the flow of river. The same awareness, this attention of awareness from Dharana stage flows continuously, even more focused way, even more sustained way into the Dhyana Sthiti. So Dhyana is a word which is most often misunderstood, wrongly used as a technique and tool to go within. While the fact is, the truth is, as Patanjali says, it is the flow of attention basically. It is a flow of deepened attention, to be more precise. So the state of deep attention, the state of deeper consciousness that is attained through sustenance can be called as Dhyana. So Dhyana is the state of consciousness rather than a name given to tool and technique. The spiritual market often uses Dhyana as a tool and technique. We are conditioned to make believe that this is my way of doing meditation. What is your way of doing meditation? So we always differ in terms of methods of meditation, while the state of meditation is common to all through whatever which method you practice and follow in. So we always have, because of conditioned habits of robotic thinking, habitual thinking, we always differ from each other in terms of techniques and tools of meditation. That is totally absurd from the point of yoga perspective. So we need to attain the state of Dhyana consciousness. So for a couple of minutes, I would like to guide you all the meditative consciousness or Dhyana consciousness. Shall we? Just sit straight, please. As Sandhya ji told, Stiram Sukham Asanam. So it is not about various postures. Patanjali never spoke about various postures. He spoke about only one thing, the principle of posture, that is Sukham. Stiram Asanam. So it has to be comfortable, and Stira, it has to be straight. So the only muscles in the body which need to be functional is paraspinal muscles, because these muscles are very much important to keep the spine straight and erect. So remaining all muscles need to be relaxed. The Himalayan traditions talk of Shitali Karana. So relax all the muscles, drop your shoulders, keep your head, neck, the spine in one straight line. Just watch the normal flow of breath. Normal flow means the way a child takes. When you inhale, see that the abdomen rises. When you exhale, the abdomen goes within. When you inhale, the abdomen rises smoothly, easily, passively. When you exhale, the abdomen goes within. Let the pratyaya, or the object of attention, be the lower abdomen. This is the most natural way of breathing, which we have forgotten when we have become the adults, the adulterated ones. Tatha pratyayai kathanatha dhyanam. The pratyaya should be the object of attention, to move within even more deeply. What begins with Dharana has to continue as Dhyana and must culminate as Samadhi. I always suggest everyone to spend at least 5 times a day. Like we have Trikala Sandhya as per Sanatana Dharma. Because of increased stress, because of increased mental and physical activity in the modern world, I do advise all people in the world to observe meditation for at least 5 times, like Namas. Namas means Naman, the inner Naman, the Antaranga Naman. So the 5 times, at least 5 minutes each time, one sitting can be a little longer. That makes the Dhyanetara time, the non-meditative states, also more meditative. In Yama, Nitinji spoke about Brahmacharya. It is not about simple celibacy, it is even more deeper. The Charya means act from the consciousness of Brahma. Brahma means consciousness. From the deeper consciousness, doing all acts can be called as Brahmacharya. And this should be practiced in the non-meditative hours, the daily hour. hours, the daily life. So Dhyana is a closed eye meditation, the energy of which has to be used during non-meditative daily life. This makes the life more holistic and see that the physical world and the inner world, the spiritual world, merge into one. The seemingly inseparable two worlds are one and the same. It is the same state of consciousness with which we have to see. Dhyana helps in a big way to make every moment of our daily lives meditative, every act of our life even more meditative. So, tatha pratyaya kathanatha dhyanam, it should flow like a river, no end, it should flow. The river flows. The nature of the river is to flow. Doesn't stop. The state of consciousness of dhyana has to flow. Whether you close the eyes, open the eyes, while you cook food, while you listen, while you talk, while you do anything in the world, the state of consciousness called as meditation has to be on flow. It cannot be arrested. It should not be ceased. So dhyana is a state of consciousness which we all need to master. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for a wonderful speech.
Sir, sir, can I ask one doubt? This is Veeraswamy for Dr. Yogendra.
Yes,
Sir,
please.
Yogendra sir, thank you. It's a wonderful explanation. I am with you. But however, I would like one thing to be clarified, though I have my own explanation for that. I do follow a lot of Jiddu Krishnamurti's books and speeches and those things. So the one thing he time and again was saying was, you can sit in a room all alone, close your eyes, cross your fingers and all that thing, and keep breathing and breathing and breathing. You are not going to achieve and understand who you are unless you observe yourself without any prejudices, without any beliefs, without whatever kind of thing. So can you, so this is completely in contrast to all that we have been discussing through Yoga Sutras and those things, asanas. So can you please clarify on that? Thank you, sir.
Sir, I didn't catch your question.
Okay, Jiddu Krishnamurti says, you can do all this pranayama kind of thing for 1,000 years, but you are not going to realize who you are unless you observe yourself.
Okay.
Without any kind of, right? Whatever.
Got it. Yeah. Any scriptural study, any type of unprepared practices, any type of starvation for long hours, any type of penance doesn't come to the real result without the help of meditation. The process of going within is always ultimate. Once you get into the deeper aspects of meditation, you do not need anything whatsoever externally. You don't need any book. You don't need any scripture. You don't need any rules and principles. You don't need even a guru. You don't need any type of yoga summit. Any guide, any neighbor giving you advice, you don't need anything. When you are able to go within and find the guru within yourself. The guru is always inside in the form of your own consciousness, not the wakeful consciousness, not the sleep consciousness, but a combination of both, a combination which is deeper. This is called as meditative consciousness or turiya state. A turiya state is a type of meditation consciousness where you are identified more with the space rather than the thoughts. Rather than the clouds, you identify more the space in between them. You are identified more with emptiness within, nothingness within. When you are identified with this deep silence within, which is your real guru, whatever that you speak becomes a Gita, which is otherwise called Udgita, the voice of silence. Ud means silence, Gita means voice. So thousands and thousands of incarnations without meditation cannot make you wholesome. But a few moments of meditative consciousness can be a vital change in your entire cycle of incarnations. So, going deep within yourself to attain the meditative consciousness is the ultimate aim and purpose of this very physical existence. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. I think you made one very subtle point, identifying ourselves with the emptiness inside of the space. Right? Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any more questions, friends? Any more questions? Raise your hand. Thank you, sir. Thank you, all masters today for joining the platform here on the World United. Especially the message of Yoga, Patanjali ji, the sage Patanjali, the Ashtanga Yoga path. This is very essential for people, seekers like me. There are a lot of people need your energies, your message on this wonderful International Yoga Day. And since my sincere gratitude to each one of you. And one more request, friends, to all the viewers today, the World United YouTube channel, please subscribe. And there is a lot of wisdom. Today's recording also be available. And there are a lot of playlists Dr. Yugandhar sir is working on. To subscribe and I encourage all the seekers. Okay, thank you so much.
We have Samadhi for a few minutes.
Oh, yeah, sorry, sir. So please continue on that. And
for a few minutes.
We have one more.
Yeah.
We're only done with Dhyana. Yeah.
Okay, we'll make a short, quick presentation on Samadhi. So, okay. Shall I? Yeah. So, the last Anga is called as Samadhi. The last, but most important, is Samadhi. Unless you attain Samadhi, unless you experience Samadhi, the cycle of incarnations will keep on continuing. What is Samadhi? Samadhi, Sama means equalization. Equalization of what? Dhi means, as Ramanjit ji told, Dhrithi means that which holds. We have to hold all the bits and pieces of what you think you are and move on to what you really are. What you really are, basically, primarily, fundamentally, is absolute silence. That is the nature of consciousness. It is not like my consciousness or your consciousness or my pet's consciousness. It is a consciousness per se. The nature of the consciousness is always deep silence. And Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi, these three are one and the same, yet different in terms of only in degree and depth. In Pratyahara, we take the senses within. In Dharana, we sustain the awareness and attention. And even more attention happens in Dhyana state, the meditative consciousness. And everything, the perceived, one who perceives, and the process of perception becomes one in the state of Samadhi. This equalization of these three, Holy Trinity, the object, the subject, and the process of the bridging factor, everything becomes one. The process of becoming one, the Samadhi state, Sama state, equalization state, is called as Samadhi. As per the perspective of Patanjali, what he says is, Tadeva arthamatra nirbhasam. Tadeva arthamatra nirbhasam. Swarupa Shunyam iti Samadhi. Swarupa Shunyam iti Samadhi. Artha means the object, the pratyaya. Matra nirbhasam. Once your attention is on the object, nirbhasam, the shining, illumination starts. With the illumination, the swarupa, all the forms become empty. And this is what is called Samadhi. Samadhi is a very deep state of consciousness. And whatever that we speak on Samadhi will be futile, can never be total. It is just like defining hunger. Can you define hunger? You can only experience it. You can only say that I have hunger. Samadhi state is also like that. It is ineffable, avyakta, agrahya, achintya. We can't describe. Whatever definitions and descriptions we talk of Samadhi can never be total. But still, for the sake of convenience, for the sake of expression through language, we are taking it as an opportunity to speak on Samadhi for a few minutes, when it is actually ineffable, avyakta, difficult to define. Intellectual understanding or conceptual understanding of these states of consciousness can never be possible. A thorough experiential understanding alone is the real solution to understand this. That is the reason why Patanjali says, Swarupya Shunyam, the forms that which you think you have, the mental impressions that you have, the samskaras that you are holding, need to be annihilated to experience Samadhi. Whatsoever wisps of clouds that are coming through states of consciousness during Dhyana also need to be eliminated totally. So much so that emptiness alone remains, nothing else remains. When you are in the state of Samadhi, you are not even aware that you have attained Samadhi. You don't get even a thought that you are in a state of Samadhi. A complete Alochana Rahita Sthiti, Vichara Rahita Sthiti, thoughtless consciousness. And this nothingness is real everythingness, where the real union between the individual consciousness and the cosmic consciousness begins. It is the beginning and also the end. The duality of beginning and end also ceases. It is a beginning and it's the end. It is a culmination. Though it appears as beginning, it is culmination as well. The laya, not only srishti, the laya also happens. The sthiti where the srishti and laya merges into one is called as Samadhi. And Patanjali makes difference in states of Samadhi. Sampragnata Samadhi, he says, or Sabija Samadhi, Savikalpa Samadhi, all are same. And he calls something which is beyond, where even the reflection and contemplation of the Samadhi state of consciousness will not be existing. And this is called as Nirbija Samadhi, the seedless consciousness, where there will not be any attention whatsoever regarding anything. Let us understand the state of Savikalpa Samadhi or Sampragna Samadhi. In Savikalpa or Sampragna Samadhi, there will still be elements of reflection or contemplation. And in the language of Patanjali, he says, Vitarka, Vichara, Ananda, Asmita, Anagama. That is called as Sampragnata Samadhi. Vitarka means logic. Vichara, reasoning. Ananda, bliss. Asmita, I am consciousness, that type of feeling. Anugama, in association with everything else. All these types of reflections are possible in the Sampragnata Samadhi, or Savikalpa Samadhi, or Sabija Samadhi. When you move ahead, where all this vichara, vitarka, anugama, and other elements, asmita, ananda, exist. If you go beyond these 5 elements, we get into something called as the nirbhija samadhi, where the external senses that are moved already within through the pratyahara turn into activation of inner senses. In the samadhi state, all the inner senses get opened up. Tatah pratibha, thus awakens shravana, the hearing, vedana, the tactile sensation, adarsha, the vision, aswada, the tongue, varta, the nose, jayante, emerges. So all the inner senses of shravana, vedana, varta, aswada, everything emerges. The conglomeration of all the inner senses is called as the third eye. Third eye is not just an element which sees. Third eye is amalgam or conglomeration of all the collective inner senses. So when you go into nirbhija samadhi, the kutastha opens, the third eye opens, and you become one with the whole. And becoming whole, becoming total, becoming complete, without any element of reflection and contemplation is called as the real nirbhija samadhi. And this has to be experienced. And there is no conceptual understanding herewith. There are no postulates here. Though Patanjali has made many postulates, many sutras, but for real understanding, it has to be experienced. After so much of experience, Patanjali could make it into single line. Vitarka, vichara, like this. Simple line, one line. In this one line, the whole world is put in. The whole world is there in these few lines. That is called the sutras of Patanjali. So understanding a sutra is most difficult unless you experience it. If you experience it, the sutra opens. And he has made so many sutras so that you make a garland out of it. Sutra means thread. The thread which connects so many flowers in the garland. So catch hold of the sutra. You catch hold of the entire garland. The whole garland will be yours. And this garland is worn onto you once you attain, experience the nirbhija samadhi, the seedless samadhi, which the Jain people call as hara consciousness, the same nirbhija consciousness. Buddhatva in terms of Buddha, Krishna consciousness as per the language of Krishna, Sri Krishna, moksha, kaivalya, whatever you call it, Christhood in terms of Jesus Christ, whatever you call it, the state of consciousness is the real nirbhija consciousness, nirbhija samadhi, which we all need to experience. And for that, we have taken the physical body. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Really wonderful to know about Samadhi. There is a lot of depth understood and definitely useful. And any more questions before we conclude? Sir, one question about the practice of going into the Samadhi. So how much a seeker should practice daily? Can you give some tips on this?
All the calculations, analysis, assessments will be totally futile. The linear approaches in terms of goal setting, in terms of making a markers, in terms of having milestones in the journey, in terms of planning, in terms of strategy and execution, the way we do in the linear world, the social world, cannot hold true. They cannot be really good in the internal world. The antaranga affairs is totally different. The calculations and assessments and analysis stay good only in the social world, the visible world, the three-dimensional world. When it comes to inner world, the Samadhi state is internal world, belongs to the deeper aspects of internal world. All these linear approaches, whatsoever that you have in your mind, cannot help. The reason why you should start with Pratyahara. There is no time frame. Pratyahara means take the senses within. All the external inputs need to be withdrawn. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Open the inner senses. So there is no time frame. But as long as you do diligently, as long as you do meticulously, regularly, with Shraddha, with Diksha, everything happens in the most unexpected way, at the most unexpected moment. As long as we expect, it can never happen. Forget about the result. Pratyahara. Pratyahara means sacrifice the result. Once you sacrifice the result, you will get everything. As Sri Krishna told, Afala Kamksha Birjuktai, says Sri Krishna. Afala Kamksha Birjuktai means leave the result. Get into, enjoy the practice, enjoy the journey. The reality lies in journey. The reality lies in prakriya, not in kriya. The reality lies not in kriya or pratikriya. It lies in prakriya, the process. It doesn't lie in product. The product, what is called as Samadhi, is least important. It is the process that is very important. When you are on the process, the product unfolds. Samadhi is unfolding phenomena. You cannot get it. You cannot capture it if you really want. It doesn't happen. But if you enjoy the journey, the prakriya, the process, the Samadhi unfolds, opens up, it blossoms. How much time it takes for a flower to blossom? It is highly individual, right? Every flower has its own way. I don't know which flower you are, whether you are a jasmine flower, a rose flower, or a rafflesia flower, who knows? There are some Brahma Kamals which open up once in 40 years, 50 years. So which Kamal you are, which Kamal I am, which Kamal someone else, how can we know? So all these time frames, analysis, assessments, calculations, all types of linear approaches cannot be really helpful in terms of the Antaranga Vidya, the spiritual Vidya, the Adhyatmic Vidya. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Such a lovely message. I really enjoyed today's program. And once again, thank you all masters.
Thank you very much. Extremely good program.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I should, as a non-participant or a non-panelist, appreciate all the work put in by the coordinators, and many thanks to the panelists. I think the worldwide, the International Yoga Day is understand as doing some of the asanas, but I think this discussion has come out the true spirit behind declaring this day as International Yoga Day, going back and connecting to the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. So wonderful discussion, wonderful. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So any closing moments? Srikanth, would you like to speak something?
I mean, it felt like it is such a wonderful beginning for the International Yoga Day, starting from the east, early in the morning, with a wonderful flow of the Ashtangas of Patanjali from so many wonderful beings on this World United platform. Thank you so much. By the end of the 8th Anga, it felt like it is, there are no words to speak. So it felt like we did flow through from part 1 to part 8, whether we reached Samadhi state or not, the feeling came out to be like that. So thank you, one and all. It's a wonderful session. And the real purpose of bringing all walks of life united onto this World United platform, I think is being seen day by day, so that hopefully within our lifetime, the united consciousness of the humankind can be centralized. And hope to have many more sessions. Thank you one and all for joining
I would
through
like
multiple
to close
platforms.
it with a prayer.
Yeah.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Yeah. Thank you, Sandhya ji. Thank you very much.
Okay, namaste.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. It was a pleasure to be with all of you. Thanks, Sandhya man. Thanks, Nitin sir. And thanks.
Thank you, World United, for the platform for the New Age Yoga teachers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Stay positive, stay smiling. हंसते रहें, मुस्कुराते रहें.